Hello and welcome to video 399, which I was going to record this morning and couldn't be bothered, so now I'm going to do it quickly before video 400. Woo. And because I worked out that this is technically a knockoff video, which means video 400 would be an official video, I'm just going to turn around and do an official video now and do 400 as a knockoff, because that's kind of what I had planned. So, here is Titanium Series Hot Rod? Rodimus? What do they call it? Hang on. Rodimus Prime, there we go, look. With the handy dandy box, as supplied by the Dark Lord himself, the one true God, Balucious. And apart from this guy, I think that's the last of the Balucious donations, so I've gone through them quite quickly. Well, I was chain firing some videos. So we got this, it's got a box, look, it's things. Would that be from, is that Index? Back in the day? It's an old British channel. Got some stats, bit of thing, but yeah, no, we're not going into the boxes, because whatever. Let's look at the figure. And it is a Space Winnebago. So many people get offended when you describe his mode as that. Like, no, it's like a lorry. But not really. It's not a Space Winnebago. It totally is. And that being said, it's quite a nice one. Now, I think I've got this mistransformed, because looking at it now, it does look mistransformed. This gap looks wrong, and there's a gap there, which looks wrong. So, is that right? This piece slides in and out. Now, to me, it looks like this should drop into... There's a gap under here. If you can see that. There's a gap. Looks to me that this should sit in the gap. But it doesn't. So, it's supposed to be there. It's supposed to be there. That lines up with the gap properly. Don't want to transform the thing. That lines up with the gap, although it leaves, but yeah, whatever. That's how I do it. Who knows? There are probably instructions in that box. I'm not reading them. And this is the only titanium figure I've ever had, so thank you for that, Balucious. They're weird, aren't they? They're very weird, the titanium figures. Because, where are we? All this... Yeah. All this is die-cast. This is plastic. These are die-cast. That's die-cast. A lot of the big chunky pieces are die-cast, like this. That, well, that can't be because it's got clear plastic. You know, that's die-cast. The toes. And there's loads of little weird pieces on it, and you're like, why? I'm not sure it all needs to be die-cast, and it's heavy, very heavy. But I can't say it's a bad mode. We'll get into bad once we transform it, but this isn't terrible. So for size comparison, where is he? Sideswipe. So, Chunky Deluxe Voyager. Should we go Voyager? I think we'll go Voyager. Okie smoky. Should we transform it? I think we should. But there's weapon storage. He does come with a weapon, and it does store in this mode. I don't think it stores in the robot mode, but it stores in this mode. And I worked it out without looking at the instructions because I are so smart. Basically, if you look underneath here, that's the gun. So what you'll do is slide it back, and then you can wriggle it out. There we go. These pieces are on the top here. Come on, camera. Work yourself out. Come on. Camera. Oh, really? It's getting right on my nerves, this thing. Those pieces on the top there go into grooves and slide. Where are we? See that shape in the bottom there? Can you see that shape in the bottom there? That. They go into that groove and then slide forward into a big hole that's there. So that works. Okay, I'll give them that. That's clever. Now we've got to transform to the robot mode. I imagine if this was just plastic and it wasn't die cast, it wouldn't be such a nightmare. But unfortunately, the extra weight does not help it. And apparently, from what I remember, the people given the task of making these had never designed Transformers before. You will get the hint of that, the very strong hint of that as we go on. So, first things last. Where are we? Yeah. We're going to wiggle these front bits, if they haven't already, so they come untabbed from these into these little slots there, and might as well extend this slider. See that? Now he's articulated, Laurie. Anyway, yeah. Now, what we've got here are the shins and the thighs to the waist. I'm going to sneeze. Right, so, yeah, shins, thighs, waist. Okay, so we're going to extend that up, and at the hips, rotate it down. There we go. We've got some legs, which will rotate the waist around. There we go. And to complete the legs, we need to split them, open them up a bit, fold up the toe, and fold this whole back section underneath. Now that I quite like, to go from this to that. That I quite like. It's on this big hinge here. So you just fold that underneath, toe goes forward really. And they're quite nice legs, I'll give them that. Now, one thing from the very unboxing, these legs popped off. They're held on inside here with, one of those little grips with the hole in the middle of them, like a mushroom cap with a hole in the middle of it. And they basically fell off with very little effort. But I have fixed this, the Dark God Balucious. You'll be glad to hear no. Whatever. Basically, all I did was stick a piece of card in the middle of the gap, in the middle of the mushroom peg. So now it won't squeeze as much. Now there's a bit of cardboard in the middle, just to stop it squeezing as much. And they work the same, they just won't fall off. I am genius. Now, once we've done the good part of the figure, we get to the not so good part of the figure. Okay. So what we need to do is get these side sections here, rotate them on this big pin here. A big silver thing there. We need to unpeg them. They should just peg on and rotate out. There's that hole there. It goes on to that little nub in there. So we'll get that loose, if it hasn't already popped off, and rotate it to there. Yay! We're helping. Okay. At which point, we can basically rotate this whole piece over, can we? Yeah. Rotate this whole piece over and down to there. And slide up the little bonnet piece. And possibly to the worst bit of engineering on the entire figure, to get this all to hold in place, you need to get this little groove here to go around this slight raised piece here. Where are we? See this bit here? You need that groove to go around that piece. Yeah, that's what holds this together. That is what holds it together. We'll get into that properly later. At which point we get this piece and turn it around. Now you'd think you just turn... No, you got to turn both of these independently to the exact same spot. For reasons, I guess. At which point you can split it and fold them out on the double hinge to make his little back fin spoiler thingy, wings, whatever you want to call them. We're going to rotate the arms down, extend, come on, to there, so the orange is showing, and slide out the hand, rotate, there we go, bend if you like. So we'll do, I'll tell you what, we'll extend first, extend, rotate, slide the hand out, and bring the elbow down. And now for dramatic head reveal, if I haven't shown it about 10 times already. Just turn this around. And this is Titanium's Hot Rod, or Rodimus Prime rather, in robot mode. And so far he doesn't look bad, does he? Yeah, the hips are a bit weird. They've got the big wheels sticking off them, but it doesn't look terrible, you know. Head isn't the best detail, but he looks okay. Waist is very small, but you know, it's not too bad. Fin, yeah, back wing piece could possibly be bigger, but it works, I guess. I suppose it's in scale. And he looks fine if you're looking at him straight on and never look at him in any other way. The head and arms are completely off center from the rest, you know, from the hips, so they're a mile out. There's a huge gap straight through him. I'm not saying like a little gap. It's like if the wheels weren't in the way. Bear with me 1 second. Let me see if I can. No, it's my entire finger. My little finger goes all the way through that. And if it wasn't for the wheels, I could get a larger finger. This piece, because it all rotates individually, is just you're constantly straightening it up. Because of all the weight in the legs, they bit wobbly, but the joints are quite strong. It's just there's that little bit of wiggle, yeah, before the ratchets and stuff kick in. The head is really leaning forward, like he's got somewhere he desperately wants to be, or you know, maybe he's made a terrible smell and he's trying to keep ahead of it. It's like, no, walk into the wind. But the absolute worst part of this entire figure, the worst part by far, is if you just knock this chest piece in the slightest. Hang on, don't fight with me now. Hello, I'm very short all of a sudden. How did that happen? Yeah, this chest piece, which is die cast and therefore heavy, which sits on that, but then the spine, the bit that everything's on, is on a slider. So if it loses that, you know, if it comes undone, it just falls straight down. It's not doing it on camera now just to spite me, but 9 times out of 10 it gets tapped. And let's just, for argument's sake, it's rickety. It's really rickety. The Titanium series was not a good series. The only one I ever wanted from that series, was the Ultra Magnus, and this is back when I really didn't like Ultra Magnus. But you know what, Balucious? If I had a choice of Titanium's Ultra Magnus or the one you sent me, I'd choose the one you sent me by a large margin. Great figure. I have come to terms with Ultra Magnus. I don't think he's as big a sissy as I used to. Kind of like I came to terms with Hot Rod. But this, I mean, that alone, that whole... It's like someone's badly green screened him, you know what I mean? Like he's got some green on the side of him against the green screen and it's just made a hole. It's terrible. I'm not trying to sound ungrateful, Balucious. I dare say this is what you sent him for, but you know. But he can carry his gun, you can put that in his hand. And I suppose technically he's still got his arm guns, if you're so inclined. Let's try and put him into an action pose of some variety. Oh yeah, and you can't bend the knees properly because this panel's in the way. See that? Right into the back of the knee. I mean, you can fold it out to the side and then get a 90 degree, but that's not really the point, is it? No. I feel bad. I feel bad talking down about him. I feel bad saying he's not a good figure. But he's not. I mean, he was a gift, so he's beloved and he'll always be treasured. gift from a subscriber no less. That's ridiculous. But he's really not good. He's really badly designed. It's ridiculous. Anyway, this is going on far too long. I need to stop. So, size comparison. Ace of Extinction Bumblebee. Tailgate. We're talking deluxe. Chunky deluxe. If it wasn't for the diecast, he'd just be deluxe easy. But, because the extra weight, you gotta... Yeah. But, I don't know. The point of the Titanium series is they tried something different and it didn't work out. But they tried. Okay? Like the Binaltech stuff. I didn't like those. But again, they tried. I dare say from a lot of the Binaltech stuff, they got some of the Masterpiece figures. So, they're learning experiences. And this is what these guys are. This is what this is. It's a failed attempt. They have learned from this how not to do it. And it's important to be able to remember these steps. Okay? Because if we don't keep all the figures like this, we don't go, you know what, you probably shouldn't have it tab in really loosely like that and have a slider as the spine. This is where we learn. So it's good to keep all the things like this to make sure we learn our lessons. That's my justification, and I'm sticking to it. Is it time for video 400 yet? Yeah, I think it is. That's going to be, I need to do a little bit of prep work, but yeah, it's going to be fun. So, let me get on to doing the prep work. So, I should be ugly, I should be wretched, I shall see all of you in video 400. Bye!